Hi, I'm Dani Palacio, and welcome to a Waking Moment podcast. Every week, I try to offer you insights that will help spark your own awareness, your own discovery, and for you to really claim your own inner truth so that you can live the life that you most want. And in this episode today, we're going to focus on the heart chakra. If you don't know what a chakra is, I can link a couple other episodes that I've done on chakras. The heart chakra is an energy center found in our energetic body as well as our overall physical body. They interact quite beautifully and can be very, very supportive. And so when you think of an energy center, I want you to think of like a ball of energy. Think of it like a basketball size, and it has a front and it has a back, and it's full of insight, opportunities, and support for living your life and knowing what each center, each energy chakra does is really supportive. It has been in my path, in my life, when I need to ground into a certain energy or a certain like maybe I need a little lift because I'm feeling a little lost, and I need a little dose of courage or a little dose of extra love. I tune into the chakras. And so there are 7 in the body. And today we're going to talk about the heart chakra, which is the 4th chakra. So it's the middle chakra. It's, of course, it's located where the physical heart is located and beyond. It extends into our arms and out our hands. So that whole meridian, that whole energy line of giving someone a hug because you miss them or you love them or you want to comfort them, that's a very heart chakra oriented action. And we give hugs all the time and don't think about what it is and how it's connected. But when we bring a spotlight onto a certain aspect of ourselves, and particularly an energetic aspect of ourselves, we can bring more consciousness, more mindfulness to an action, to a thought, to a feeling. And so the heart chakra, if you've watched this podcast or you know me personally, you probably think it's my favorite one. But the all honest truth is, they're all my favorite. I thought about that the other day. I was like, out of all the 7, which is my absolute favorite? I love them all, really. Like I've worked with them and studied them for such a long time that there's something favorite about each one. And so it just depends on what you're personally needing and looking towards. So heart chakra. Let's talk a little bit more about what's included in that heart chakra. I actually created a blog because chakras are very visual for me, and I do my very best to describe what each chakra is and where it is so that you can sense it as you're listening. And so the heart chakra is connected to air, the element air. And when we think about air, we think about wind, we think about a breeze, a gentle breeze maybe, or a soft ocean breeze full of all those negative ions and that salt factor that helps nourish us. And so the air and our breath are very similar in the sense that we take air in, we breathe, and our body is nourished, and then we exhale all that we no longer need. And so that's a very self-loving act, and we do it unconsciously. I don't even know how many times per day, but if you do, let me know. I'm sure it's thousands of breaths per day. I don't know. That's my guess. So, and you might think of the heart chakra as pink because we associate the heart in our society and in cultures. I mean, I think it's probably worldwide by now, but particularly in the Western culture, the heart has been capitalized, right? It's been bought, sold, traded in so many different ways. We think about it as romance. We think about it as love. We think about it as candy, as red. as something that beats, something that connects. We fall in love, which again is associated in our minds with the heart. And in energy, the heart center is green, which I'm wearing today. So, and I too love pink and those soft pinks that feel soft and feel comforting and nurturing. But green can be the same, right? There are so many types of green. There's jade, there's green fluorite, there's lots of different crystals that are green. And when you think about what green is and feels like, it really has an energy of growth, expansion, aliveness. And so when we combine air and green and we think about the breath of life, is very heart chakra. So there's always a shape or a geometrical shape or a shape in nature that's associated with each of the various chakras. And the heart center is a crescent moon. And there's two crescent moons, right? There's a waning and a waxing one. And so, and they're if you've caught a crescent moon recently, I recently did after the new moon a few weeks ago. I was driving home and I looked up in the sky and there was this gorgeous little crescent moon. Is maybe a couple days after the new moon, and it was just hanging out in the sky, and it was bright in a very dark sky, and I was so inspired by it. Like, it felt very like a place I could crawl up into, lay in, like a like just take a nap, right? The man in the moon, we have that in our world as well as something that we refer to, but that soft place to lay your head and your body and rest. And I think that is a very heart-based desire. And I've seen in our culture and in my own personal life, we don't rest enough. We think of rest as lazy or as unnecessary. We think of rest as something that is a luxury. We can do it later. We can always put rest off to later. And we can't, because rest is vitality. The more we rest, the more our body can do more for us, and the more we can do for ourselves and for others. So resting, taking that moment to quiet the mind, to take a deep breath, to take a nap, to sit, and I'm going to say even veg out to an episode or two of something on Netflix or Hulu or something like that. Because if you're using it to rest versus escape, your body feels the difference. If you're trying to escape from a feeling you don't want to feel, a conversation you don't want to have, it is just prolonging that anxiety and that energy when you veg out. But when you intentionally say, oh, I'm gonna rest and I'm just gonna watch this show, and maybe it's a couple episodes, maybe it's 5 episodes, but I'm gonna rest, and you consciously are aware of your body relaxing and you're resting, is so beautiful. So if you haven't done that in a while, I highly recommend that you rest, because it's lovely. So one of the things I kind of haven't really talked about before on this podcast is I believe when our soul incarnates into this human body, into this human form, we have birthrights, things that are ours because we exist. And one of the birthrights we have is to love. And that, of course, is associated with the heart chakra. So if you're having a hard time giving yourself that birthright to love, and I mean to love yourself, to love everything about you, love your light and your darkness, love your laughter, love your spontaneity, love your brilliance, love your ability to rest, because we don't spend enough time loving ourselves. And to love is self-orientated first, but then of course to love another, to love our pet, to love our child, to love our partner, to love our family, to love nature, to love the mystery, the magic, the unknown. All of those are birthright to love. It is the to love, and you can fill it out with anything you want. But when we don't do that, we're not using our full potential. And so I want to encourage you to recognize that you're choosing to love, and that to love something or someone or a place is your birthright as a soul incarnated into human form. So just maybe stop and think about what that means for you, right? Like, I've given you lots of sparks and ideas, but on this podcast, I'm never telling you that it has to be the way I think or has to be the way I see it. I'm just asking you to ponder it, to sit with it, to think about it even, but mostly to just feel what it feels like. Does it resonate? Does it not? And find your own truth in it, right? And I would love for you to share some of that with me, because I do see this as a conversation, even though I'm recording an episode and you're listening to it. I do see it as connection. So let's see, what else does the heart center physical? I mentioned the arms and the hands, but it's also the lungs, the circulatory system, and the thymus gland. So if any of those are causing you uncomfortable or pain, or you carry some condition in your body related to those, one way to nurture yourself and to help heal your body, help shift the frequency and the vibration and clear the body of the condition that it is experiencing, is to spend more time in the heart center. And so there's there's a frequency associated, there's a tone associated, and you can find all of that on my blog and on the download that I'll include in the summary notes for you. It's people often in their healing don't look to energy, don't look internally. They look outside. What can I take? What can I go do? What doctor can I go see? What therapy can I have that's going to help me? And all of those could be really amazing. But internally, you are with yourself always first, even though you may not feel it. So if the circulatory system or the heart or the lungs, even your hands and arms and your thymus gland are not in peak health, or not in vibrancy of life, thriving, that energy of life force, then think about how you can nourish that. And I'm going to give you, and I'm going to read a few myself, but a list of affirmations that are associated with the heart chakra. And I also have a few short exercises that I want to share with you. But just to kick off the affirmations, as you can imagine, is going to be related to love and care. So I am open to love. All love resides within my heart. I deeply and completely love and accept myself. And I've talked about that already today. A big one is I nurture my inner child. All your little ones, I believe that we have an inner child for every age we have been. There's a part of us that is within us that holds memory, that holds energy, that is at all those ages. So 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and it continues, right? But 0 to 8 is said to be the most foundational aspect of our life, and then we are then working on how to integrate, heal, and bring balance to those experiences in that amount of time frame. And it doesn't just have to be 0 to 8. I personally have all kinds of things around 13 and 16, and you get what I mean, what I'm trying to say. So I nurture my inner child is a big one. You want to acknowledge that there are parts of you that are potentially asking for your attention. And that is a very heart chakra based activity. And to remind yourself that I am wanted and I am loved. It's important that you remind yourself of that. And if you're looking outside yourself to get that validation, it may come and it may not, but you yourself always have the ability to love yourself. And you have the ability to remind yourself that you want you. And so these affirmations may seem simple, but they are multidimensional. They are multifaceted into what you most need to sit with. And some of them may feel, oh, yeah, I do that. And some may feel like, oh, what are they asking of me in this one? I forgive myself is a big one. I know I've talked about this in the podcast before, but forgiveness is one of those things that we work so hard to come to a place of understanding, compassion for another so that we can forgive them because we're so angry, we're so resentful, we're so bitter, we're so negatively impacted by this person's thought, actions, beliefs, projections, condemnations, and criticisms. And it would be great to be able to forgive those people that do that to us, right? But what about forgiving ourselves for believing what they tell us? What about forgiving ourselves for obsessing about someone not liking us or someone judging us, and then trying to figure out how to prove that they are wrong about whatever they have said about us? What about being so angry at someone for being rude or insensitive or cruel to you? I'm 100% sure that we have done that to ourselves. And one of the reason it hurts so bad when somebody else does it is because we have not forgiven ourselves for doing it to ourselves. Debbie Ford was one of my teachers. She was a New York Times bestselling author. She had a coaching school. She had workshops that she offered. She had an institute with all of the information. She was a lovely and amazing woman. And one time we were in session and she said that you are everything. And it took a long time. I'll fast forward this story too. Somebody said, well, I'm not a murderer in the group. And she looked at them and she looked at all of us and she said, you're not? Are you sure? And we were all like, and even I was sitting in the chair and I was like, I'm not a murderer. I've never murdered anybody. And then she said, what is murder? What can murder be? And it's not just about killing someone. I mean, I've killed mosquitoes, I've killed bugs, I've killed spiders, I've killed all kinds of insects and that kind of stuff, right? And I think we all have. In a sense, that is murder. So I am a murderer because I did that. And more intuitively, internally, I have been a murderer of my dreams. I have been a murderer of my desires. I have stopped and murdered my inner self so many times for thinking something, wanting something, desiring something, and telling myself, I can't have that. I don't deserve that. I need to work harder to get that. Those are like tiny stabs into yourself, and you're slowly killing yourself. So it may not be what we initially think. And that was the aha moment for me. It's like, oh, I guess we are everything. So everything you can think of that you judge wrong, bad, hard, mad, sad, Or even the light stuff, all of the like being jovial and being a jokester and, being, eloquent in your words, or any of those things that you think, oh, I could never do that. Right. And think about them as light aspects. So one affirmation, I forgive myself, is deep. It's so deep. You really only have to have one or two affirmations every once in a while, because it's not about 100 affirmations. It can be in a meditative state where you are repeating, positive affirmations to affirm yourself, to hear yourself say these words and feel these words. That can be a really cool experience, and I invite you to try it. But I also just want to stretch your thought around one particular affirmation. Can be really deep, really complex, and I think it's meant to be. I think it allows us to give up the idea that, oh, this is easy work. It can be, right? But it is also deep, it's intense, and it might take some time. So give yourself that luxury of not having to do this quickly. The heart chakra is an important one because it is the middle, right? So your root, your sacral, and your solar plexus are below that. And then your throat, your third eye, and your crown are above that. And the heart is the middle ground. It is the place where you can create structure and understanding and compassion that fuels the chakras below it and the chakras above it. And that is a unique characteristic of the heart chakra if you think about where it's placed in your body. So there you go. That's my teaching on the heart chakra. And hopefully you have heard something that might spark you, heard something that might challenge a belief that you currently have. I'm going to move into the 3 practices, and they are written in the blog, but I wanted to record them as well so that you could listen to them. And so I will mark them in the summary notes so that you can quickly get to these practices. They'll be short little meditations or short moments to sit and ponder. And so I invite you to, if you can, follow along with me and do the practice with me. Otherwise, if you can't do that, take a listen and see, oh, that one sounds kind of cool. I want to go back and do that one. Again, the timestamp will be in the summary notes, so it is easy for you to find them. Okay, so I'm going to bring them over, and the blog, of course, will be linked in the summary notes as well, so that you can read them. So the first one, I want you to take a moment, and if you can, close your eyes and take a nice, slow, deep breath in and a nice exhale. And as you close your eyes and you shut off the outside world, I want you to imagine that you have entered a room that is so lush and so beautiful and so comforting that it invites you in, and you can either sit or lie down. You can rest here. It's filled with colors that you enjoy, soft greens and pinks, maybe gold, maybe cream. And it has a bunch of different objects on the wall, on the table, whatever that room may look like for you, that supports you in experiencing this lush, beautiful room. And this is heart energy. This is the sacred room of your heart. And in this room, you can safely rest, explore, and feel. Maybe in this room, music is playing, or maybe because you love water and nature, the sound of a gently flowing river or a soft little gurgle of water you hear that. You hear that in your heart. You hear that in your mind. Or you remember a time and a place where that sound was very present for you. You can even imagine someone that you deeply love, a person, a place, or an animal. Whatever that is, it can be in this room, in a safe, supportive, calm room. And this room is always available to you simply by just closing your eyes and telling yourself, I want to go to my heart room. And then whatever you've created today can grow, it can change. And I want to invite you to just sit there and breathe. Just breathe. And there's no right or wrong way to breathe. Just in and out. Inhale, exhale, as slow or as fast as you want. And then you get to stay as long as you want. And you can, like I said, always come back to this room. Okay, so the heart room, that was one short practice. Now, this next one is for those that have a mother wound, or have wounds of being loved and nurtured and honored and cherished. So, similar concept. Close your eyes, take a deep breath. Maybe you do go to your heart room for this as well. But this one, I want you to start to think about the qualities of a mother that is nurturing, that is kind, that is loving, and that is accepting all of who you are. No judgments, no criticisms, just pure love. And as you start to think about what represents that for you, I want to offer that you invite in the Divine Holy Mother. And she can be whoever you want it to be. But she is the one with the sacred heart, a kind smile, open arms, waiting for you so that she can love you and she can hold you and create a safe space for you to feel and be. Her greatest gift is opening up that sacred container so that you are safe to feel. So imagine what that could feel like for you. And as you feel, see, or sense this Divine Holy Mother, notice that you are in a loving bubble. And in this bubble, you and her exist. And this energy, this love, this acceptance is going to help you shift and change. Now it's safe to feel those emotions that you have not wanted to feel, the anger that you might have, or the resentment, or the confusion, or the betrayal, or even the love from another. If you're not one of those people that can fully accept love into their lives, you are safe to do that in this bubble with the Divine Holy Mother. Let them express themselves as well. It's okay to cry. It's okay to scream. It's okay to pound on a pillow. Like, emotion has expression, and so often we limit that. And in this safe container, this beautiful bubble with the Divine Holy Mother holding you, loving you, you can express it. And it's safe to do that. And then allow this magical, mystical, powerful, Divine Holy Mother to transform those emotions that were challenging for you, that were hard to receive and accept and allow and express. Allow them to be transformed into pure light. You don't have to carry them anymore, and you don't have to withhold those feelings because you were worried about how they might impact you. Let them go into pure light. And know that you and your heart will be blessed. It will feel softer. It will feel healing. So that's the second little practice. And these are not separate necessarily. You can actually incorporate all of them into one, right? The last, because I really love and believe in the vibration and frequency of people, things. One of them is tone. And the heart chakra sound is Lam, lam. And so if you play with that sound and you allow it to grow, you can extend each letter, the word itself. You can even hum it, lam, and just have the vibration that vibrates in your mouth and your jaw and your throat, and then feel that vibration come down into the heart. Or you can do a long la, la. However it feels right to you, the LAM sound will activate the heart chakra. It will clear the heart chakra of anything that's in the way. And it will amplify your ability to love yourself more. So, and not only does it heal you, but it heals the things around you. We are all energy. We all respond to vibration and frequency. And so you can find on YouTube lots of beautiful heart chakra meditations that use this sound, LAM, lam. And I have enjoyed several of them. Maybe I can find a couple links for you to suggest. But I love the combination of creative visualization about feeling things that we haven't wanted to feel, and doing lam to help move the energy of that. And so these three small, short practices can be done as a meditation altogether. It can be done even as you do your affirmations. You do the affirmation and then you go into that space. You do an affirmation and then you end it with lam. And I sometimes do it in the shower because I don't know, I'm by myself and the water's going, and I kind of feel like I can be as loud as I want. And so tone in the shower. I do it all the time. I mean, lam is the heart chakra, but there's om and there's hu, ka, ri. There's so many tones. Each chakra has one of its own, but there's all kinds of various tones. And even if you just make it up, it's still a vibration, it's still a frequency, and it's still going to do things in the unseen that will show up in the physical and in the world around you. So I want to thank you for listening today. I really send love and blessings to your precious heart and to your heart chakra. Imagine a soft green light is coming towards you and it's entering your heart, and it's my heart sending you love. And I appreciate you, and I look forward to our next encounter. Have a great week.